everybody, Timmy Flyers guy here reminded you to check out the next season of Timmy's Nostalgic Showcase, coming exclusively to the Timmy Flyers Guy YouTube channel, Saturday, September 5th. So get ready for some more nostalgic stuff coming to Timmy's Nostalgic Showcase exclusively on the Timmy Flyers Guy YouTube channel, coming September 5th. Coming Saturday, September 5th, to the Timmy Flyers Guy YouTube channel. So get ready to travel back to the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, and more as Timmy's Nostalgia Showcase makes its return on Saturday, September 5th. Hey everybody, it's that time of year. Once again, that's right folks, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms 2026-2027 schedule has been released, and today I'm going to give you a breakdown of the 2026-2027 Lehigh Valley Phantoms schedule. They are the AHL affiliate of the Philadelphia Flyers. And let's get right into the 2026-2027 Lehigh Valley Phantoms schedule. Starting off with the month of October, the fans will open up their season on Saturday, October 3rd, against the Hartford Wolfpack. That game will be at 7:05. That'll be not only their season opener, but their home opener as well. And then the Phantoms will not be in action until Saturday, October 10th, against the Cleveland Monsters. That game will be at 7:05. And then you'll have another matchup with the Cleveland Monsters on Sunday at 1:05 p.m. That's a rare start for a home game for the Phantoms. That'll be a 1:05 start for the Phantoms as they take on the Cleveland Monsters. Both of those games will be at the PGL Center. Then, on Wednesday, October 14th, Lehigh Valley Phantoms will travel to Hartford as they take on the Hartford Wolfpack at 6:30 p.m. And then they got two road games. One on Friday, one on Saturday. One on Friday we'll have two matchups against the Springfield Thunderbirds. One on Friday, one on Saturday. On Friday, October 16th, it'll be a 7:05 matchup with the Springfield Thunderbirds. And then on the following Sunday, it'll be a 6:05 matchup with the Springfield Thunderbirds. That game is on those games will be on the 16th and the 17th of October. And then the Phantoms will come home for two games at home. One on Friday October 24th. It's a Friday or Saturday. On Saturday, October 24th, against the Syracuse Crunch at 7:05. And then they will have a Sunday matchup against the Belleville Senators at 3:05 on Sunday, October 25th. And then they will close out the month of October in Rochester as they will take on the Rochester Americans on Friday, October 30th at 7:05. Then we get into November. Starting off the month of November. On Sunday, that's right, Sunday, November 1st, they will have a 3:05 matchup with the Providence Bruins. Then they will have 3 road games coming up. One on Wednesday, November 4th, at 7 p.m. against the Lehigh Rocket. And then on Friday, they will have a road matchup with the Belleville Senators at 7 p.m. And on Saturday, they'll be facing off with the Hamilton Bulldogs at 7:05. Both of those games, the game against Belleville will be on Friday, November 6th, and the game against the Hamilton Bulldogs will be on Saturday at 7 p.m. That's a rare matchup between the Bulldogs. We have not seen, ironically, team take on the Bulldogs. Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting. And then they'll come back home for a home matchup against the Hamilton Bulldogs on Friday. November 5th, November 13th at 7:05. And then we have a home matchup, the Charlotte Checkers, on Saturday, November 14th at 7:05. And then on Sunday, November 15th, they will have a road matchup with the Westbury Scranton Penguins. On Sunday, November 15th at 5:05. And then they will have 2 road games coming up against the Iowa Wild. One game against the Iowa Wild will be on Friday. Wait a minute. Hang on, I missed one. So, just hold on. So I looked at that one. I forgot one. Hold on. And then they will come home on Friday, November 20th, to face off against the Westbury Scranton Penguins. And on Saturday, November 21st, it'll be a matchup with the Hershey Bears. Both those games will be at 7:05 p.m. And then they will come back again. They will have another home game against the Providence Bruins on November 20th, Wednesday, November 25th at 7:05. I also hit December by accident there. So the Providence Bruins on Wednesday, November 25th at 7:05. And then another matchup with the Providence Bruins on Saturday, November 28th at 7:05. That'll close out the month of November. Actually, no, that won't close at the month of November because they'll have a matchup with the Wolfsburg Straight Penguins on Sunday, November 29th at 3:05 p.m. That game will be on the road. And then we get into the month of December. And on Wednesday, December 2nd, it'll be the PPL Center. And they will face off with the Hershey Bears at 7:05 on Wednesday, December 2nd. And then on Saturday, December 5th, they'll be in Charlottetown as they face off against the Hershey Bears at 7 p.m. on Saturday, December 5th. And then we got another matchup. We got another matchup with the Hershey Bears on Sunday, December 6th at 3:05 p.m. And then on Friday, December 11th, they'll have a matchup with the Hershey Bears at 7:05. And then on Saturday, December 12th, they will have a matchup against the Charlotte Checkers. Those are home games, by the way. And then they will face off on Sunday, December 13th, a 5:05 matchup in Wolfsburg against the Wolfsburg Straight Penguins on Sunday, December 14th. And let's see here. And then they will have two games against the Iowa Wild on Friday, December 18th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, December 19th at 6 p.m. And then they will have two home games to close out the month of December. One on Sunday, December 27th, 3:05 matchup with the Hartford Wolfpack. And they will close out 2026 with a game against the Rochester Americans. What day is that? On Tuesday, December 29th at 7:05 p.m. And then we get to the other half of the season, starting with the month of January. They'll have crucial matchups on the road. One on Friday, January 1st against the Wolfsburg Scranton Penguins at 7:05. And on Saturday, January 2nd, with the Syracuse Crunch at 5 p.m. And then they will have two road matchups against the Hershey Bears. One on Tuesday, January 12th at 7 p.m. And then they will have a Friday matchup against the Hershey Bears on Friday. I messed up here. I forgot the two games right here. I forgot a couple of games. I forgot to mention on Friday, January 8th, we have two road games against the Charlotte Checkers that weekend. One on Friday, January 8th at 7 p.m. And one on Saturday, January 9th at 6 p.m. And then We'll have a matchup with the Hershey Bears on Tuesday, January 12th at 7 p.m. And then they will have the home away game against the Hershey Bears on Friday, January 15th at 7 p.m. And they will face off against the Utica Comets at home on Saturday, January 16th at 7:05. And then they will have a matchup with the Hershey Bears on Sunday, January 17th at 3:05 p.m. And then they'll have 3 road games. One on Friday, January 22nd against the Hartford Wolfpack at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, January 23rd against the Springfield Thunderbirds. And then on Sunday, January 24th against the Providence Bruins at 5:05. And then they will have a home matchup with the Wolfsburg Scranton Penguins hold on a second, on Wednesday, January 27th at 7:05 p.m. And then they'll have 2 matchups against the Syracuse Crunch. One on the road on Friday, January 29th at 7 p.m. And then they'll come home to face the Syracuse Crunch on Saturday, January 30th at 7:05 p.m. And that will close out the month of January. Now we get into the month of February. On Wednesday, February 3rd, they will have a matchup against the Hershey Bears at 7 p.m. Now on Friday, they will have 2 home games. One against the Springfield Thunderbirds on Friday, February 5th at 7:05. And then on Saturday, February 6th, they'll take on the Wolfsburg Scranton Penguins at 7:05 p.m. And then they will have an all-star break until February 10th. And then they will come back home for 4 home games at the PPL Center. One on Friday, February 12th at 7:05. And then on Wednesday, February 17th, against the Wolfsburg Scranton Penguins. That's the 7:05 matchup. And then on Saturday, October 20th, against the Iowa Wild at 7:05 p.m. And then they will have a matchup of 3 road games. One on Wednesday, February 24th against the Hartford Wolfpack. And then the matchup on Friday, January 26th against the Providence Bruins at 7:05. And then they'll close out the month of February on Sunday, February 28th against the Providence Bruins at 3:05 p.m. Then we get into March. 2 road games to start the month of March. One against the Utica Comets on Friday, March 5th at 7:05. And then we'll have a matchup with the Westbury Straight Penguins on Saturday, March 6th at 6:05. And then we will have a matchup with a home matchup with the Hartford Wolfpack on Sunday, March 7th at 5:05. And then they will we'll have two games Friday and Saturday. On Friday, March 12th, on Friday, March 12th, against the Lehigh Rocket at 7:05, and then on Saturday, March 13th, the 7:05 matchup with the Hershey Bears. And then they will have two home games coming up, Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, March 20th against the Springfield Thunderbirds. And on Sunday, March 21st, again against the Springfield Thunderbirds at 3:05. And there are two matchups in the Charlotte Checkers. One on Tuesday, March 30th at 7 p.m. And then on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on March 31st, both against the Charlotte Checkers to close out March. Then we get into April. First up on Saturday, April 3rd, we'll have 3 at the 6:05 matchup with the Westbury Straight Penguins. And then they will come home to face the Westbury Straight Penguins on Sunday, March 4th, against the Westbury Straight Penguins. And we 3:05. And then they will have a matchup with the Hershey Bears on Wednesday in Hershey on Wednesday, April 7th at 7 p.m. And then they will have a game on Saturday, April 9th at 7:05 against the Charlotte Checkers. And then on Saturday, April 10th against the Hershey Bears in the season finale. That'll be at 6:05 p.m. So that has been your Lehigh Valley Phantoms schedule breakdown. I cannot wait for the first game of the season, and I cannot wait for the first official puck drop of the 2026-2027 Lehigh Valley Phantom season.